The Silent Visitor, October 31st, 1992, Middleton, Illinois. Laura Stevens was a 17-year-old high school senior, excited for her final Halloween at home before heading off to college. Her parents, eager to enjoy a rare weekend away, left Laura alone for the night. She assured them she would be fine. After all, Middleton was safe, and nothing ever happened there. She planned to spend the night handing out candy and watching horror movies. Ironic, given what was about to unfold. The Stevens home sat on the edge of town, surrounded by dense woods. The nearest neighbor was a half-mile away. Despite its isolation, the house was cozy, with large windows that allowed moonlight to bathe the rooms in an eerie, silvery glow. The evening started as expected. Laura handed out candy to the neighborhood kids, laughing at their costumes and enjoying the lightheartedness of the holiday. By 10 p.m., the trick-or-treaters had dwindled, and Laura settled on the couch with a bowl of popcorn to watch her favorite horror flick. As the movie reached its climactic scene, Laura heard a strange noise, a soft, almost imperceptible tapping. She paused the movie, listening intently, but the noise stopped. Shaking it off as her imagination running wild, she resumed the film. Minutes later, the tapping returned, this time louder and more insistent. It seemed to be coming from the front door. Laura's heart began to race. She slowly got up and approached the door, peering through the peephole. No one was there. Unease settled in, but she tried to convince herself it was just a prank. After all, it was Halloween. She double-checked the locks and returned to the couch, but her nerves were on edge. The tapping soon escalated to scratching, as if something or someone was clawing at the door. Laura's pulse quickened. She grabbed her cell phone, intending to call her parents, but there was no signal. Frustration and fear mingled as she considered her options. Suddenly, the power went out, plunging the house into darkness. The only light came from the moon filtering through the windows, casting long, ominous shadows across the room. Laura fumbled for a flashlight, her breath coming in short, panicked bursts. She shone the beam toward the front door, her hands trembling. The scratching had stopped, replaced by an eerie silence that was far more unsettling. Then she heard it, a slow, deliberate creak of the floorboards above her, as if someone was walking upstairs. But Laura knew she was alone in the house. Or was she? Panic gripped her as she realized someone, or something, was inside. She tried to rationalize it, telling herself it must be the house settling or a tree branch scraping against the roof. But deep down, she knew this wasn't normal. With the flashlight in one hand and a kitchen knife in the other, Laura began to slowly ascend the stairs, the floorboards creaking under her weight. She moved cautiously, every muscle in her body tensed, listening for any sound that might reveal the intruder's location. As she reached the top of the stairs, she noticed that her bedroom door was slightly ajar, even though she was certain she had closed it earlier. Summoning every ounce of courage, she nudged the door open with the knife. The room was empty, but something caught her eye. The closet door, usually shut tight, was also slightly open. A soft rustling came from within. Laura's heart pounded in her chest as she approached the closet. Her breath hitched, and her vision blurred with tears of fear. She reached out with a shaking hand and yanked the door open, the flashlight beam piercing the darkness. Inside, she found a small, dirty, and crumpled piece of paper. It looked ancient, like it had been there for years. With trembling fingers, she unfolded it. Scrawled in barely legible handwriting were the words, "I've been watching you for so long." Before she could react, the closet door slammed shut with a force that nearly knocked her over. She screamed and bolted out of the room, racing down the stairs. As she reached the bottom, she felt a cold hand graze the back of her neck. Terrified, she flung the front door open and ran outside, not stopping until she was halfway down the road. Only then did she dare to look back. The house stood silent and dark, as if nothing had happened. But she knew something was in there, something that had been waiting, watching her for who knows how long. When her parents returned the next day, they found Laura huddled on the front porch, her face pale and her eyes wide with terror. She couldn't bring herself to explain what had happened. The note, the sounds, the touch. It was all too horrifying to relive. The police searched the house but found nothing. No signs of forced entry, no evidence of an intruder. The note had vanished, leaving Laura to question her sanity. But she knew the truth. Something had been in the house with her that night, something that wasn't human. To this day, Laura refuses to talk about that Halloween. She moved away from Middleton as soon as she could, never to return. The house still stands, but it's been vacant ever since, shrouded in rumors of being haunted. Locals avoid it, especially on Halloween night, when some claim to hear the soft, eerie tapping of a visitor who never left.